healthy secondary.
Mm-hmm.
What's the importance of that to you as the season goes on, as these games get bigger, that the defense have everybody available for you in practice?
Oh, that's important for the whole team. I think when everybody stays healthy, I think we're all better and we're all playing better.
Obviously, every game is a big game, but does this one hold a little bit more weight just going up against Kenny and what he's got going?
Not really. Ultimately, he's done a great job just in my development. We're working with him for 2 years, but at the same time, it's just another game, and now he is the opponent, and he's thinking the same thing about us. So I think it is cool to play against him. It's cool to play against another coach that you've worked with for so long, and then but I just think it's another opportunity for us to go out there and put together a complete game.
Have you kept in contact with him since he left here last year?
Yeah, we've always been in contact since my freshman year.
What are those conversations like anymore?
It's just kind of depends on the situation, to be honest with you. In season, out of season, he has a great personality. So, they're always enjoyable conversations.
What do you admire most about his approach to coaching the quarterback position?
I think his willingness to meet you where you are and coach you from there. I think his story, where how he had to kind of work for everything he's gotten, I think has really helped put him in a position to see the perspective of every quarterback and see where they are. I think that's one thing he really does well.
How important was his just faith and trust in you, but also to give you that level of control that you had a year ago that you've maintained this year?
That was huge. I think it just allowed me to play free and just, like you said, that's how we've kind of operated this year, and I think it's helped us a lot this year. And I think just getting into the right plays, and our system right now is as good as I've ever been a part of, and Coach Stein does a really good job of just putting us in situations with great answers.
You said that your guys' offense is better than it was even last year. Where do you feel like this group has improved from year 1 to year 2 under Dan?
Well, I think just when you look at our guys, we got a lot of returning guys that I think have contributed a lot this year, and Troy, myself, Ferg, Bucky, and then we've added pieces, Gary, Tez, Trey, and then Jordan James has continued his role from last year. And then the offensive line has gelled really, really well, and they really picked up from where we were last year, and they've played really well. They just get better and better, and there's so much talent in that room, and exciting to see those guys contribute how they are. And I think they're probably the reason why we're doing everything, is just because they can handle so many things, and they're just really good.
You kind of wanted to play a complete game. You probably won a couple weeks ago where you felt like you could have started better. Last week maybe finished a little better. Just how close do you think you guys are to that, and how much of a challenge is it to really put together a full, complete 60 minutes?
Well, we're really close. I think if you look at just the other night, I think we were so close, but besides the penalties, I think we would have played complete without those. And I think when you look at the first half the other day, we moved the ball really efficiently, scored points in the red zone, and we didn't, especially in the first quarter, we didn't stick to field goals. We put the ball in the end zone, and that's what helps. And we just got to do that for 4 quarters. I think a lot of the times it depends on situation and where you are in the game and the opponent, but that's what we're striving for, that's what we're practicing for, and that's what I hope we'll get to.
How advantageous is it for you guys and your defense in particular to be familiar with Kenny and know what he likes to do? I know it's a little bit different this year, but from having that experience,
it's good. I think it's not a disadvantage, that's for sure. And, it'll be interesting to see what he does to change things up. But our defense is really good at, game planning and scheming and adjusting on the fly during games. And ultimately, they're just playing really well. They're tackling really good in open field. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. They're stopping the run, and that's all you can do, really, from a defensive standpoint.
You've credited that relationship with Kenny. There's a big role in coming out here for the last nearly 2 years. You might never go to, if not for that, where you would have gone? What was the next alternative?
Well, yeah, I think, it was always Oregon. Everything always pointed to Oregon, and, I don't think I could have made a better decision.
With JPJ, where have you seen his progress, and I guess specifically in terms of kind of knowledge of what's around him and everything for yourself?
Well, he's, obviously grown each game. I think he's seen so many different things, and he continues to learn with the looks. But he's just a really natural football player, just instinctful, and just, I think he just operates at a high level. He plays with a great motor, great energy. He gets those guys around him fired up, and he just plays hard. And when you got a guy like that kind of feeds through the rest of the guys, and they help him out a lot too. And, I think those 5 are just working in unison really well.
throughout the week, how much are you two guys conversing about kind of checks and all that stuff? How frequent is that?
Yeah, I mean, all the time during practice, meeting times, and he does his own study, I do mine, and then when we get on the field, we kind of collab and go from there. And he's confident in his calls, and at the end of the day, I got the override, but he does a good job of getting those guys situated, getting those guys where they're supposed to be. And then, if I do check something, it's because they're probably not seeing the picture, because they're seeing the front seven, and then we just, whatever we say, it goes, and the guys trust me and him. And then obviously with the guys next to him, they played a lot of football too, so their words mean a lot too.
We always focus a lot about like when a quarterback plays or something like you did against Utah last year, really down the stretch after the Utah game last year. What does it mean to you when your centers or offensive linemen in general play through like what Alex did last year, what Jackson did on Saturday? I don't think he came.
Well, their job's much harder, and they have a physically exhausting job, and to do it banged up, it's not fun. And those guys really gut it out and push through, and it just shows their overall toughness. And I think it speaks to them not only as a person, but what they're willing to do for the team. And then ultimately, I think when you got a lot of guys doing that, you just have a tough team, and that's really good too.
Same question.
Differ's closing in on the most receptions in a season by a tight end here. What's just made him so good and so reliable for you?
Well, his ability to get open, his ability to get separation, contested catches. He's really good at when the ball's in the air, he's going to get it, and he's really good after the catch too. So, as a quarterback, and it's one of my jobs to get the ball to those guys that make plays, and he's one of them. And thankfully, we have so many of those guys. It makes my job easy.